Before memory had a name, before our first word was carved into clay, the ocean already knew our story. Beneath its endless blue lies a silence that remembers. It remembers cities that glowed, towers that hummed, and a people who believed they had mastered the gods. This is the story of Atlantis, the city that lived like a dream and died in a single night. Long before the empires of men, one philosopher wrote of a land that defied reason. His name was Plato, student of Socrates, teacher of Aristotle, a man whose words shaped the mind of Western civilization. But one day, Plato broke away from the realm of logic and stepped into legend. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, he described a world that once existed beyond the pillars of Heracles, what we now call Gibraltar. A continent larger than Libya and Asia combined, blessed by Poseidon, radiant in wisdom, power, and peace. A civilization that ruled the seas, mastered energy, and lived in harmony with the divine. He wrote, "In a single day and night of misfortune, the island of Atlantis disappeared into the depths of the sea. To scholars, it was a fable. To mystics, it was memory. Imagine it now. The morning light touches the edge of a glittering horizon. You wake in a home built of living stone, walls that breathe, windows of crystal that hum with warmth. Beyond your window stretch concentric rings of land and sea, spiraling toward a white citadel that glows like fire, the temple of Poseidon. You step outside. There are no engines, no noise, only stillness and rhythm. Roads shimmer with magnetic energy. Pods glide silently along invisible rails. The city moves like music, alive, yet at peace. In Atlantis, science and soul are one. The people of this lost world lived by frequency. They built with it, healed with it, worshipped through it. Their energy hall pulsed with violet light, its core powered by vast crystals that drew life directly from the Earth's electromagnetic veins. They understood resonance long before we gave it a name. Crystals that powered homes also calibrated the mind. Healers used sound and color, not knives or pills. A patient would lie beneath prism domes where beams of light vibrated at sacred tones. Illness was not an enemy, only a note out of tune. A healer's task was to bring the song of the soul back into harmony. Children here did not memorize, they awakened. In the schools of the soul, lessons began with meditation, geometry, and telepathy. They learned the shape of sound, the color of thought, and the language of stars. Knowledge wasn't information, it was alignment. Their rulers, the 10 kings of Atlantis, were not chosen by birth, but by merit, discipline, and spiritual mastery. Behind them stood the high priests, men and women trained in alchemy, vibration, and the balance of masculine and feminine power. Every law, every decision, every song was governed by one principle. Harmony is law. Their civilization gleamed with the metal of gods. Orichalcum, a fiery alloy that reflected sunlight like flame and conducted energy like breath. Their towers of crystal and gold glowed across the sea, a beacon of what humanity could become. Daily life was ritual. Work was worship. Artists, engineers, healers, and farmers shared the same reverence for craft. Music tuned the mind. Meals were symphonies of vibration. At dusk, the people bathed in resonance pools, their bodies recalibrated by frequency. To live in Atlantis was to live awake. And beyond their shining walls, the Atlanteans sailed the world. They read the stars like scripture, navigated by magnetism, not compasses. Their ship, silent, luminous, glided upon oceans that connected every continent. Across the earth, they left traces. The pyramids of Egypt, the temples of Peru, the Moai of Easter Island, the submerged city of Yonaguni in Japan. Each bears the same geometry, the same impossible precision. Different lands, same design, as if one hand had guided them all. The myths remember these travelers as gods. Thoth in Egypt, Quetzalcoatl in Mexico, Viracocha in the Andes, bearded teachers who brought knowledge, light, and law. Maybe they were not gods. Maybe they were survivors. But golden ages do not last. As centuries passed, the Atlanteans began to forget why they were blessed. Power became pride. Knowledge lost its soul. They harnessed forces they no longer respected. Priests warned of imbalance and of greed overpowering harmony. But wisdom had turned to arrogance. And then the sea answered. The night was filled with fire. The ground shuddered like a wounded beast. Towers cracked. Rivers boiled. The sky turned red as the ocean rose to reclaim what it had given. In a single day and night of misfortune, Atlantis, the jewel of the world, sank beneath its own reflection. When dawn returned, there was no city, no song, no light. Only waves rolling over an eternal silence. For millennia, people have searched the ocean floor for its bones. Some say its remains lie near the Azores, others beneath the Caribbean, others under the sands of Antarctica. The Bimini Road, the Yonaguni Monument, strange magnetic patterns beneath the Atlantic, all whisper of a truth half buried. Science calls them coincidences, but myths do not live this long by accident. Perhaps Atlantis was not a place, but a pattern. A cycle that repeats when humanity rises too high without grounding its soul. Look at our world today. Cities glowing with artificial suns, machines that speak, towers scraping clouds. We harness energy but not wisdom. We build faster than we heal. We know everything, yet understand so little. Maybe we are Atlantis reborn, standing at the same precipice, once again forgetting that progress without harmony always ends in collapse. The ocean still remembers. When the tide withdraws at dusk, listen closely. Beneath the hush of the waves there is a hum, deep, ancient, and patient. Maybe it is only the earth breathing, or maybe it is the heartbeat of Atlantis, still echoing, waiting for us to listen. Because myths do not die. They sleep until we are ready to remember.
Subscribe to watch the next episode.